This is my very first video that I've done. I wanted to make it to document my new purchase, a Jaguar XKR convertible. It's really just to document for myself the progress that I make, the changes I make, and thought maybe it might be of some interest to other people. Hopefully it will be. I bought this car just recently, and immediately couldn't use it due to the current status in the UK with the COVID-19 pandemic crisis. So the car's been unsawn up until yesterday, when I did manage to take it out for a nice drive for the first time. Over the last few weeks since I did buy it, I have managed to spend some time looking over the car, give it a thorough wash, and just to identify any features that weren't working, and just see what the general condition was. And I thought I would list those here in a little while. It was actually probably the cheapest XKR convertible 4.2 that I could find in the UK at the time when I was looking. Maybe that's not strictly true. There was some that were cheaper, but they were really weren't in roadworthy condition, and the mileage was well in excess of 150,000 miles. And although I wasn't worried about having a really ultra low mileage car, I thought 150,000 miles might be a little bit too excessive. It is in pretty good roadworthy condition. I got an MOT done a couple of days ago, just at a local garage that had stayed open during lockdown. The MOT wasn't quite due, but I wanted to identify if there was any major issues before the summer, get those resolved. And actually there was no issues highlighted, apart from the gaiters on the power steering rack had come loose, which they put back in place for me and secure for me before the end of the MOT, so that was really kind of those to do that. I do intend to make some more videos just to document the progress on the car, perhaps some changes I've made, some modifications, maybe some road trips, some beauty spots in the UK, and really just for my own benefit. But if anyone else finds it interesting, then that is great. If you do enjoy the video, then please feel free to comment, like, and I'm not going to be someone that's after subscribers to the channel, but that's personal choice of what people do and don't want to watch. So from the point of view of issues within the car, as I said earlier, there was a number of issues that I have discovered within the car, some of which I did know before I purchased the car, and others that I've discovered since. So I'll just point out, I'll switch the camera around so you don't have the unfortunate situation to continue to look at me, and I will just highlight some of the issues that I found. One or two I have actually remedied already, and maybe I'll post some videos on how I sorted those out. Nothing's been too expensive so far, which obviously is always a worry when you buy a car like this, but up to now I've been lucky and found nothing that has really broken the bank yet. So starting in the car, when I got the car, all of the dials had an aluminium ring stuck to them, but they were stuck to them quite loosely. And if I zoom in, you can see that there's remnants of glue all around all of these dials. So I need to find a way of removing that. If anyone has any ideas, please share them. The next thing that I noticed, the heated seat buttons didn't work. They felt like they weren't sponging in and out, so I didn't know whether the problem was with the switch or whether they were with the seat. And also the DSC off button there wasn't working. and again that just felt like it wasn't springing in and out, so I suspected it was a problem with those switches. Also, I wanted to upgrade the stereo, not because the stereo was poor, it was pretty good, it worked fine, but I wanted Bluetooth connectivity for a phone, and also wanted a DAB radio, so I have actually installed that the last few weeks, and also upgraded the speakers. Next thing was the steering height adjuster, which we have under here. That, excuse my legs, that doesn't work particularly well. It works for a lot of the range, moving up and down, it moves it in and out, but you can pick those switches up quite cheap on eBay. Apologies, not the switch, it will be the motor, I think, itself. So that's something I need to do. Something that's really common with these, the headrests, they should go up and down when you tilt the seat forwards and backwards to give access to the rear of the car. The motor on that works, but the headrests don't move anywhere. Again, I believe there's an easy fix. I've seen that online on other YouTube videos and on forums, where you take the back of the seat off and expose the drive and shorten the outer sheath that goes around the drive, and it's basically, I think the drive isn't engaging into the motor, so that's something I will deal with in time. The gear knob, I've put a new one on there. I managed to get that one from eBay for not a lot of money. The previous one was very tatty and it spun around. It did actually come off in your hand if you wanted it to, so that wasn't good. The manual selector down here in sports button, there was an issue with that. I'm not going to tell you how I fixed that one. It was very unconventional. It's nothing like the issues that anyone else has had on forums, etc. Most people have had issues with a linear switch. Unfortunately, it wasn't the linear switch, but I have managed to fix that one. And also, it was falling out of drive as well a lot of the time. That was just a simple cable adjustment, so I don't know how that got out of adjustment, but that was really easy to fix, and so I'm happy about that. I can now use it on the manual side of the gears. The next one is the sun visor here. You might or might not be able to see it. You can see the sun visor pivot just here is loose, so that needs to be remedied. The one on the passenger side is fine. And the last one from inside the car is the rear parking sensors. Although they do work, the audible tone is sometimes permanent. You wait 3 or 4 seconds and it turns off, and then it will work as a conventional rear parking sensor where it beeps and then goes to the continuous tone. So I'm not quite sure what that problem is. I haven't investigated it yet. Driving wise, the only issue I had very early on was there was a judder from the front brakes and it pulled slightly to the right. That has since just gone away. I suspect that was probably due to lack of use, because the car hasn't done many miles, as many of these haven't over the last few years. So yeah, that's it for the issues I found on the inside. Nothing too horrendous, I hope. Okay, we're on the outside of the car now, and the issues I found, if I'm being really picky, there is some bubbling just around the edge of the badge, and also, I don't know if you can see it in the right light, there is actually probably an impact damage, and there's a little bit of, I don't know what you call it, it's like a spider mark that goes from there, which suggests that maybe the plastic or glass reinforced plastic, whichever one it's made from, is damaged underneath. Down at the bottom, they did have some daylight running lights fitted. Excuse my finger. So that needs cleaning up. So probably actually a front respray is in order for this. I did have some issues. The front fog light is misted there, and also so was the headlamp, but that seems to have dried up for the time being. Generally though, the car is in very good condition on the outside. A little bit of bubbling on the wheels,